What's up, everybody? Gonzii here, and today we don't have a full-length podcast, but we do need to make an update regardless some of the transfer news that's been happening around the football world, man. So without further ado, let's get into this thing. So basically, yesterday was a roller coaster, man. It all happened when I was asleep. I went to the pool with my sisters, so I was knocked out pretty early in the evening. And when I woke up, I checked Twitter, and it's all gone mad. It's all happening all at once, pretty much. Last night, Newcastle offered 82.5 million euros to RB Leipzig for Benjamin Šeško, plus 2.5 million for add-ons. This offer was accepted, but Manchester United were also in a race, but the reports were they were going to wait until Šeško chose Man United's project to put on the bid. And that ended up happening as well. Man United bidded 75 million plus 10 million, and the belief from reports was Šeško told them, okay, I want to join Manchester United. So today there was an Ornstein bomba. Let's go. Shout out to David Ornstein, one of Tier 1's journalists in transfer news. And he reported that Šeško had chose Man United. They had agreed to terms on Benjamin Šeško's contract. So the only thing left to do is reach a price that suits RB Leipzig's expectations for the deal. And Šeško's contract, according to Fabrizio Romano, will be until June 2030. So a 5-year deal for Benjamin Šeško, awaiting him in Manchester. Now, one of the things that most interesting about this deal is that Fabrizio Romano is reported that Šeško never gave similar indication to other clubs. Now, that's a big thing, because why the hell would Newcastle bid for a player they don't know if he wants to go there or not? If what Fabrizio is saying is true, that never gave any similar indication, then why would you subject yourself to this embarrassment once again in this window? I've said my piece on Fabrizio. I think he's getting to a level now where agents use him to forward deals for their players. That is completely still true, and I still have my reservations about the guy. But if what he's saying is true, Newcastle come out as a much bigger idiot than previously thought. I'm going to go over Manchester United's business decision here with Šeško and all the details as they're coming out and everything. But before we go to Manchester United, we need to talk about Newcastle, because this is just the latest player just refusing to go there. They got rejected by Šeško, which is almost done by every report. Liam Delap that went to Chelsea. Mateus Cunha that went to Manchester United. Brian Mbeumo also went to Manchester United. James Trafford, the goalkeeper, that went to Manchester City. Gai from Crystal Palace. Kudos from West Ham that went to Tottenham. João Pedro from Brighton that went to Chelsea. And Hugo Ekitike that went from Eintracht Frankfurt to Liverpool. We covered that in the podcast. Now, this is just another one. All they are missing to complete an astonishing 11 of missed targets is a left back and a right back. It has been a complete disaster class by Newcastle this transfer window. By far, one of the worst transfer windows I've seen in a high-tier football club in ages. They only signed Anthony Elanga. That's it. And because they were the only team in a race, apparently. And they offered 55 million, which is not cheap. Elanga is not going to give you that much production than Gordon does, in my opinion. So he pretty much signed a lesser version of Anthony Gordon. And to add to that, Alexander Isak still wants to leave. So they could end up without their best player and their like fourth option in the striker position. They might go for Watkins. They might. There's Watkins, there's Jackson, but those guys are not better than Isak. And Šeško is not better than Isak, but he's a project. You can clearly see why they were interested in Benjamin Šeško. So was Arsenal, for example. But they didn't want to pay that much money for a player, so they went with Gyökeres. That was a cheaper deal. Now, let's talk about Manchester United. Because they went from last year's front line of Rashford, Garnacho, and Højlund to Benjamin Šeško up front, Bryan Mbeumo on the right, and Matheus Cunha on the left. Brother, that is outstanding business. From a player perspective, from a price perspective, though, it's very expensive. I'm guessing they will push. RB Leipzig is going to try to at least match the 82.5 million that Newcastle offered. At least match that if they don't want more. Or add-ons, for example. There's a problem because Højlund is clearly not good enough, and it was similar fees. It was like 80 million euros Højlund to United a couple years ago, and the dude is a massive flop. The guy is just not good enough. Benjamin Šeško is better at everything. Go watch Benjamin Šeško's highlights and watch him with his back to goal. It's a different level. And the guy has a leap on him. The athleticism on Benjamin Šeško, it's the only comparison I've tried all today since I woke up at midnight to try to come up with a comp that makes sense. And the only one I can find is Haaland. I'm not saying he's Haaland. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying he's going to score the level of goals that Haaland scored in his first year. Nowhere close to that, because Haaland is just a cyborg, bro. But he's very physical. Šeško is like Haaland. Like Haaland, the athleticism is off the charts, man. But unlike Haaland, Šeško is much better with the ball at his feet and with his back to goal. Go watch Šeško's videos, man. The dude has a silk touch on the ball and a rocket as well. Dude just leathers the ball inside of the goal, man. I watched a video, 10-minute song of Šeško highlights, and the first two goals are screamers from outside the box. Screamers. The guy is very, very talented. For everybody that plays Football Manager, FIFA, anything like that, OEA, FC, everybody knows one of the first strikers you want to buy is Benjamin Šeško, because he's young and the potential is off the charts, man. It just is. And it just makes too much sense for Manchester United to do this. If they want to win the league in 3 years, like Ratcliffe and Wilcox and everybody says they want to, they need a good striker. And Watkins, although a good option for now, in 3 years' time, he was going to be second choice at best. Watkins was always going to be a stopgap. Might as well strike while the iron's hot, go get the guy, because also it's just not a business opportunity. They just didn't wait for Newcastle's offer to bid. They've been following Šeško since he was 16 years old. I love this for Manchester United. I think they hit a jackpot, man. I think the guy is the real deal. He just is. You just look at him and he is a bona fide player, superstar in the making. If Šeško only reaches half of his potential, it's already a home run for Manchester United. Home run. The guy is awesome. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching the video, man. Hope you guys enjoyed it. You can expect much more of these clips as things happen in the sports that I cover and that I love to watch. And as always, much love to all of you guys that watch my content. All glory to Jesus Christ, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.